In the heart of Kenya's Masai Mara Reserve, specifically at the Black Rocks, a legendary tale began for 9 lion cubs raised with pride by 3 lionesses. In September 2017, these little ones, 4 females and 5 males, were just tiny creatures no older than 6 weeks. But fate, as always, had a grand plan for them, an epic journey over 5 years that would shape them into true kings of the jungle. This is not just a story of hunting and survival, but a saga of power, struggle, and adaptation in a merciless world where every day is a new battle for survival. So join us on this thrilling journey to explore their coming world filled with challenges. Their childhood was full of play and joy, but it did not last long. In the harsh savannah, hunting does not come easily, and danger lurks in every corner. They had to learn how to fend for themselves and how to face relentless challenges. By the age of 2, the time had come for separation. Their mothers had given birth to new cubs, and there was no longer a place for these brave adolescents at the Black Rock's den. They became alone, hungry, constantly fighting over food, and the males were forcefully asserting dominance over their sisters. But one dark night, when hunger had reached its peak, the strongest of the males committed an unforgivable sin. He killed one of his sisters. This act led to the group's split and the dispersal of the females. The males were left in a dire situation, for they had relied heavily on the females for hunting. Afterward, in utter desperation, they tried to hunt slower prey, but could not keep up with the giants. They then resorted to stealing from seasoned lions, a grave mistake that nearly cost one of them his life. From that, they learned a harsh lesson and began searching for new opportunities. One day, a herd of buffalo stampeded, scaring off the hyenas and leaving behind a sick buffalo. The young lions seized the opportunity, no longer scavenging leftovers from hyenas. They went for the grand prize. It was a thrilling experience. They succeeded in claiming a hearty meal and learned a valuable lesson. Courage and perseverance are the keys to success. For the next 2 years, the 5 brothers roamed the Mara Reserve, sometimes alone, sometimes together. United, they were stronger and safer. By March 2021, they had grown into majestic adult lions, each with his own unique personality. The Maasai people gave them names reflecting their traits: Alumina, the limping one; Okado, the slow-witted; Lub, the latecomer; Orpadan, the hunter; and Olol, the sister killer, the ruthless leader. Together, these brothers began shaping their destiny, continuing to write their legend in the heart of the savannah. In the spring of 2021, the African plains witnessed an unprecedented event that amazed observers. 5 lionesses arrived with 8 small cubs, forming with the 5 brothers a massive coalition of 13 males. This unique group, forced to leave their original home, lived a nomadic life, avoiding territorial conflicts and constantly moving in search of prey. By May 2021, during the rainy season, the coalition faced a great challenge in finding food. The tall grass made spotting prey difficult. Even their attempt to bring down a strong buffalo failed, highlighting the difficulty of life under these conditions. Yet, the nomadic lions of the Black Rocks found in this season a golden opportunity to roam freely without competition, as other big cats preferred areas with shorter grass. With large prey scarce, the lions turned to warthogs as an emergency food source. Here, the lionesses displayed their skill, using their deep knowledge of these creatures to locate burrows. In one dramatic scene, a skilled lioness successfully caught a warthog with speed and precision, providing a meal for the entire pride. Still, a new challenge appeared. The powerful males, who had no offspring to protect, took the lion's share of the kill, while the lionesses received little in return for their hard work, a problem that threatened the coalition's stability in the long run. In a world of dwindling prey, the hungry cubs were forced to chase anything that moved, even if it meant venturing into dangerous, unfamiliar lands. Eventually, hunger and curiosity overcame their fear of crossing the Rengi River, which separated them from the territories of other herds. But the shock awaited them. Hunting was no better on the other side. One day, they spotted a lone hippopotamus that had failed to reach the safety of its pool. The hunting instincts of the brothers ignited, but this massive gray beast was no easy prey. It could turn the tables on them at any moment. While the lionesses retreated in doubt, the young males burned with excitement. The question was, how would they handle an opponent 6 times heavier than a lion? The hippo had to stay on its feet to survive. As time passed, its situation worsened. It left its small pool and moved toward the bushes, putting the lions in an exceptional position. Orpodon pounced, gripping the hippo with force and bringing it down. But the battle was not over. The mothers reluctantly joined in, realizing they had to exhaust the giant until it collapsed. The fight dragged on for hours. The hippo battled from one pool to another, trying to cool its massive body. The lions, though exhausted, took turns to maintain pressure. Who would give up first? After nearly 6 hours, the fight ended in a stalemate. The hippo survived, proving it was no easy prey, even in times of dire hunger. Wherever the lions looked, buffalo remained the only reliable source of food. With herds numbering up to 800 individuals, buffalo represented a grand feast. But hunting them was no simple task, not only because of their size, but also their powerful social solidarity. Unlike antelopes, buffalo supported one another, forming tight-knit family units. Yet, in every large herd, there were always stragglers. The lions spotted a lone female buffalo and tried to trap her in the tall grass. One lioness lunged, but the herd quickly intervened to save her. Everyone knew, you do not mess with an angry buffalo, not even Orpodon, the fierce one. The lions' efforts were wasted, forcing them to keep tracking the herd in hope of a better chance. Lions are strong but slow, relying on large prey. Buffalo, on the other hand, depend on strength and unity. The balance between predator and prey was clear. One day, fortune smiled. They found an old bull, weak and trailing behind. The lionesses set an easy trap. The youngest females attacked first, driven by hunger. Meanwhile, Orpodon and Olur secured the area. Eventually, the lionesses and their daughters brought the buffalo down. At last, there was enough food for everyone for days, no more need to fight over shares. Heavy rains brought despair, tightening hunger's grip on the lions. Forced to push into the muddy plains, their energy drained quickly. One night of desperate searching led them again to a massive buffalo herd. But even 13 strong lions could not penetrate its solid defenses. They had to find a weak spot, a small group of stragglers with calves, their only hope. Here, Olur, the reckless young male, revealed his uncontrollable bursts of rage. He rushed at a calf and caught it, but the defenders charged in. Forced to release it, Olur backed off. The calf, gravely wounded, would not survive. The lions knew time was on their side, yet the prey was too small to satisfy the entire group. By June, as the rainy season ended, the 5 brothers, including Olur, grew more confident. They began asserting dominance over an area previously controlled by 2 old scarred males. These elders, having lost their confidence in direct battle, withdrew, leaving the territory to the newcomers. But the true owners of this land were 3 adult lionesses and their adolescent offspring. They had fought to conquer and defend it. Now, with the brothers' arrival, the first attempts at mating and spreading new genes began. Alumina, the limping brother, struggled to keep up with his siblings and tried his luck with his half-sisters and aunts, but his attempts failed. A new problem arose. The 3 lionesses already had adolescent offspring, including a young male. Olur, viewing him as a potential rival, noticed him. The young male was terrified, but his mother defended him. Olur began displaying his power, aware that his hold on the territory was still fragile. The Rangi River soon became a battleground. The 3 lionesses drove away the lionesses that had arrived with the 5 brothers, forcing them to leave the valley forever. Now, Olur and his brothers firmly held control. Olur and Orpodon, the strongest of the brothers, patrolled far and wide, marking their presence everywhere. By mid-2021, they controlled nearly 100 square kilometers. One day, Olur strayed too deep into a neighboring pride's territory. It was too late to escape when he encountered the dominant males there. Frozen with fear, he had crossed the boundary. The strong males attacked him savagely, beating him until he nearly lost his life. He escaped barely alive, a near disaster for the young coalition. Challenges continued. The great wildebeest migration passed through their land, offering temporary relief from their reliance on buffalo. But when the herds moved on, the lions again faced their toughest rival, buffalo. At 4 years old, the 5 brothers patrolled their territory in the Mara. Alumina the limper, Okado the cautious, Lub the broken-nosed, Orpadon the hunter, and Olal the killer, the undisputed and reckless leader. The 5 controlled a region belonging to 3 lionesses who had seized it from others. The males only maintained dominance over the females and kept rival males at bay. By June, the first herds of zebras reached their land, a welcome alternative to dangerous buffalo. The nimble lionesses were the true hunters, sneaking within meters of an unsuspecting zebra and taking on the risky task. That same month came the Great Dance of Fire. Park rangers lit controlled fires across the grasslands, not for destruction, but for renewal. It was a bold gamble, as the regrowth of fresh grass depended on timely rains. If delayed, the plains would remain ashes, forcing all creatures, from herbivores to predators, into bitter hunger or territorial conflict. Even the serval, the skillful hunter, struggled to catch mice in such harsh dryness. Everyone waited, watching for rain, the only hope. Luckily, the rains came. The scorched earth turned into a lush green carpet, bringing life back. For the serval family, the long grass offered safety for their young and plentiful hunting grounds. Meanwhile, the 5 brothers ruled a barren territory. They did not mind the drought, busy strengthening bonds with 3 lionesses they had claimed along with the land. Olol, recovering from his earlier attack, showed little interest in mating, leaving the lionesses to his brothers. He roamed with Orpadon, marking their scent to deter intruders. By July 2021, 4 of their adolescent siblings still lived nearby, avoiding their older brothers and surviving on smaller hunts. By late July, the long-awaited dust columns appeared. The Great Migration had arrived. Hundreds of thousands of animals surged into the Mara. An awe-inspiring sight, though their numbers continued to decline, worrying conservationists. This migration is the lifeline of the ecosystem and sustains the vast tourism industry. But climate change and human population growth now threaten this delicate balance.